If I were to ask you and every single person watching this to tell me, what do you think about this little guy over here, okay? Do you know what's interesting? No two people would give me the same exact answer. Crazy, right? But do you want to know why? Because your beliefs, your past, your culture, your stories, everything, they all shape your view of this world. That's not fluff. That's neuroscience. It's your brain's reticular activating system, the RAS. It's like your internal Google algorithm. It filters reality based on your beliefs. Now, whatever you think or expect of this little guy, your brain starts looking for confirmation of what you believe. Isn't that interesting? That is so wild. So, if you believe you're not good enough, guess what? You'll find evidence everywhere. So if you believe the world is dangerous, guess what? Your brain is on a 24/7 threat patrol. That's right. So to me, it's funny how we're all just walking around with personalized VR goggles strapped to our faces, bumping into each other like, wait, you don't see what I see? How can that be? It's because of our belief system. But here's the thing. You can change that filter. Now, in neuroplasticity, you might have heard that before. If not, let me tell you, that's the brain's ability to rewire itself. It takes intention, repetition, and a whole lot of compassion. Yep, that's right. So this teddy bear came with a heart attached, and guess what? It's inside, like you, waiting for you to open up and be more compassionate to yourself and say, I will and I can overcome whatever challenges you face, to rewire your beliefs that will serve you and say, I am worthy. So every time you say, I am not worthy, say, I am safe. I am healing. You're literally sculpting new pathways in your brain. You're telling your brain and your body what to believe, and they believe everything that you say. So today we're going to talk about something deeply personal, okay? And deeply important. Now, grieving your past self. Maybe you've heard that phrase before, but you're not sure where to start. Like I didn't. So maybe you're feeling tired or confused or whatever emotion you feel in your mind and body. And that feels so out of place and maybe totally empty inside. I've been there. I have a deep, deep compassion for you on this. That's why I want to talk about this with you, because unlike grieving a person where there's a funeral and they're crossed over, the departed, like a photo album, memories shared, grieving your past, it's invisible, and I am a medium, so I can see the departed. So I could understand from both sides, from the living and the departed, both. I don't like to call them dead per se because, well, actually, they're not dead. It's a whole nother video that I'm going to talk about. Not in this video, because we're going to be talking about grieving in this physical world and what we go through in our lives. And that doesn't exclude the departed. It's just that is not going to be the focus of my video here. Grieving in general. So, what do we do when we grieve? We compare, we minimize. We say things like, it happened so long ago. I should be over it. I've been there, but guess what? Your brain, well, it could just completely disagree with that statement. Now, neuroscience shows us that emotional pain and physical pain activate the same regions of the brain. So that heartbreak that you've been carrying since you were little, that moment you were told to stop crying when all you needed was a hug, yeah, your brain logged that in as real physical pain. And unlike a broken leg, emotional wounds, they don't scab over on their own. They stay open until we tend to them. Physical pain is obvious, but emotional pain is inside. and we could dismiss it our whole entire lives, all the way to the moment that we depart this earth. So yeah, I got some band-aids for my teddy. Now, when I do that with my daughter, when she pretends that the teddy is hurt and sick, now this is what my daughter and I do. We give the teddy bear lots of love and hugs and plasters because I am the teacher to my daughter, and I show her how to care and tend to the wounds, but not just the physical ones. It's inside and out, because I know that as mommy does, so does she. So the observer case is much stronger. And whenever she gives an ouchie or needs a hug, I do that. But also, I teach her to do that to heal herself and give herself a hug and a kiss. And whenever she has an ouchie in that area, just go, mwah, kiss it and give it a hug. And I'm teaching her that. So if you don't have someone to kiss that ouchies for you or that hurt you feel inside, the most important person that you will ever need is yourself in your life. You, the one I'm talking to. You give yourself that hug and tell yourself that I'm not stuck, that you're processing. Because that part of your brain that handles emotional memory, it helps you heal with yourself, and it matters just as much. You're walking through a minefield. Every step forward could be a trigger. So you stay hypervigilant, waiting for that next emotional, maybe explosion, okay? That's survival mode. And when you live long enough, you forget that it's not your home. You forget because it's your safe zone. Safe doesn't mean healthy. You forget that peace, you forget what peace feels like inside. You forget that you had dreams and softness and creativity. But here's the truth. Many of the demons you're battling today are ghosts. And I don't mean ghost as in medium ghost, seeing the ghost. I mean echoes of the past. So what if we laid them to rest? Metaphorically, your past experiences. Lay them to rest. When you finally stop, when the adrenaline that has been carrying with you all along wears off, and all the feelings you buried to survive, they come rushing in. And that is the start of grieving. When all those come bubbling up, I know it's messy. It's overwhelming. But you know what? In the end, it is sacred and it is yours. We came into this life to experience everything. The good, the bad, the indifferent. You are here to experience all of life. And there's no judgment. The only judgment that you will give yourself is when you depart this life earthly experience. And the judgment that you will give yourself is from a higher perspective, from God's source realization, not from your human avatar. And when you do, you will understand this life from a much higher perspective. Like I am helping you see, because the thing is, I almost died 6 times. So that fear of death has dissipated out of my body. And I think from a much higher perspective of both the physical reality and the non-physical. You know, being a medium and a quantum channeler, I'm here to express what I feel in this world. That is very important. And as a hypnotherapist, I work with the non-physical, physical, and the quantum realm, which includes the brain, because our thoughts are not invisible. They're everything. They're thought and felt. They echo and they vibrate into everything and everyone. I want to continue and talk about grieving, because there is grieving in this reality, but you must first recognize what you lost, that you feel that you have lost. Not always obvious, the traumatic moments, or as I like to call it, impactful moments, because the trauma can be converted to rewire the subconscious. Though sometimes grieving can mean loss of innocence, or maybe loss of emotional safety, or loss of childhood that you never got to fully have, or loss of feeling to be truly seen. There's so many losses, but if you've spent years making excuses for that, who hurt? Okay? But let's pause that, okay? Just for now. They may have had their own wounds, yes. They may have done the best they could, but none of that erases the impact they had on you. If it still hurts you now, imagine how unbearable it must have been back then. Because we all process, we all grieve, and it takes time. You might be wondering, where do I even start to heal? How do I even let this pain go? So, you know where you start? This is where I started. Because I'm a writer and I love to write, and the way that I express myself is through my writing. And there's so many modalities that you can use. You could do it through singing, dancing, um, through exercise. I mean, there's tons. But in this video, we're going to talk about free writing. No filters, okay? No grammar checks. No judgment. Be raw. Be real. Be honest in how you feel about yourself. I want you to ask yourself, write it down anywhere you can. Whatever you have handy. If it's your phone, put it in your phone. That's fine. But what parts of your past do you still carry? Ask yourself, what did you need? Who should have given it to me? How would I be different if I didn't receive it? Ask yourself that. And this is where the grieving begins, okay? Those few questions. But after the grieving, this is where the healing comes, because now you truly understand where to start to heal. I want to mention something I do in my hypnosis. Now, in my hypnosis, I detach emotions. That's one of my techniques. I have a million techniques under my sleeve, but one of the ones that clients really appreciate, the majority of the times when we go to impactful moments as a hypnotherapist, I detach emotions because honestly, it's too much for the client to process. I put them in a state where I detach the emotions and they become the observer, like a bird flying from above, basically, if you want to sense, like extract them from their body, and they're looking at their experience from another perspective, like an avatar in a sense. So when I go 3, 2, 1, we remove those emotions. And this is one thing that you can do in hypnosis, hypnotherapy. When you do this on your own, it might be very challenging, and I understand because I've been there. I've done it the harder way, clearly. And when I became a hypnotherapist and I had it done for me, I don't want to say that's the easier way, but I've learned through so many modalities, and that's why I became a hypnotherapist, because one of the modalities that we use and the techniques through hypnotherapy is to process the experience from your lifetime here and other lifetimes too. We go to the very impactful moments to extract information and clarity to help you evolve and grow as a soul, and help you understand what you need to do in this life, to understand who you are and what to learn from, And this is the point I wanted to make, that's super important. But please remember, you don't have to do this alone, as I mentioned. I'm here as a guide for you. You can go to other therapists that resonate with you, support groups, or even a quiet, cozy corner where you feel safe and at home. And you become your own healing guide, and you create a space for that, okay? So you may feel a lot. You may feel anger coming up. You may feel sadness, confusion, guilt, even emptiness, and so many other emotions. But remember, keep the space open for whatever comes up. Let it pour out of you in your safe space with whomever you trust, even if it's on your own. You may remember the things that you thought that you've forgotten. I've got this many times with clients where they told me, Joe, I have some issues with, I don't know, a relative, a mom, a dad, a situation, but they don't remember it until we do the session. And suddenly when we're in the session, everything becomes clear. And then after the session, they are just shocked how clear it came through, because the thing is, they block that memory for a reason, clearly, right? So when you find the gaps in your memory that your brain tucked away for your protection, it might feel like it will break your heart. It will also help you mend it. But you don't have to rush. The healing comes not from forcing it, okay? But when you're ready, allowing it. In my sessions, I detach the emotions and you just become the observer. Now, I've sat in silence with my younger self. I felt her rage her anger, all those emotions, the loneliness, her heartbreaks, her cries, all of it. It was not easy, but it was necessary for me to get through to the other side. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to go to the groceries and have tears, or, wherever you go, it's okay. There's no judgment in your home, in the groceries, in your car, or sometimes wherever you go to have a few tears or emotions that might trigger you. But don't blame yourself, and don't get upset at yourself, because you're only human. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to love all of those emotions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's okay to feel upset at people who love you. It's okay to love them, but also feel hurt by them, because we're only human. And humans feel what? Everything. All at once sometimes. Okay? There's no black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray in between. So treat this process like a physical injury, because it really is. But you don't see the blood because it's an invisible. You wouldn't shame yourself for limping after a broken leg, would you? So why would you shame yourself for limping after a broken heart? Being kind is so important. Some people will tell you just to numb it, avoid it like it didn't happen. But healing isn't about wallowing. It's about understanding why the pain still hurts. So you can finally give yourself what you needed back then, like safety, validation, compassion, truth, and so many more. Healing is personal, it's tender, and it's yours, and there's no judgment of it. So take it one breath, one step at a time. Cry when you need to. Laugh when it bubbles up. Sometimes you could laugh in the most awkward moments. I do. So reset, reflect, and be gentle. Okay? You are grieving, but there's so many emotions that can come up, you know? And that alone is a brave and beautiful thing, okay? And if nobody told you today, I just want to mention to you, you are enough. I appreciate you. My microphone, tapping it here. I appreciate you and your presence, because your presence makes a massive difference in the world. And I love you for all your wrongs and all your rights. You are only human. You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving. Okay? Even if you're an evolved being, it doesn't matter. You're still human. So be kind to yourself always. And if you're looking for a free resource in how to heal from a heartbreak, I am co-hosting a free webinar with my friend Ivana, who is a life and transformational coach and a certified root cause therapy practitioner, and myself, Joanna, as a hypnotherapist and a medium. It'll be on June 14th. So even if you can't make it to the live event, you can still sign up and have the recording sent to you after the session. So I want to thank you for sitting with me through this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.